Yo, what's up, guys? Teacher Paul here, and today we have a coffee request. This comes from Bertil, who says, "Some true crime again from another black metal musician." It's the second part of this video, so the timestamp is in the description. This is from a channel that is called The Mystery Abyss. So this is a yet another black metal true crime. This is probably going to be interesting. If you want to watch the full video without my commentary, link is in the description. Go watch it and then come back to see my reaction to it. But let's go straight into it and let's see what this is all about. Is this in English? Welcome to the Mystery Abyss.
In the annals of Swedish crime history, the Kielers Park murder stands as a haunting tale etched into the nation's memory. On a summer day, July 23, 1997, the tranquility of Gothenburg's park was shattered by the grim discovery of an unidentified man's lifeless body. The victim, cruelly shot twice with a pistol, was revealed to be Josef Ben Medor, a 36-year-old Algerian national, and an openly gay man who had called Sweden home for many years. After months of painstaking investigation, the elusive perpetrators were finally captured. The culprits, Jan Notveit, the 22-year-old frontman of the extreme metal band Dissection, and his accomplice Vlad, then 20, also known as Frater Namidial, now identified as Victor Draconi, were both musicians residing in Sweden. Notveit and Vlad, founders of the sinister satanic cult Temple of the Black Light, had disturbingly discussed the idea of human sacrifices before they committed their grisly act against Medor.
What?
But was their murder really committed as part of their satanic beliefs, as they have claimed? Or was a more real-world, bigoted motive behind their actions? Let's find out together. Black metal, Satanism, and murder, the killing at Kielers Park. On a tranquil summer afternoon in Kielers Park, Gothenburg, Sweden, on July 23, 1997, a picturesque setting turned into a crime scene. A 16-year-old boy out for a leisurely walk stumbled upon a grim discovery. A lifeless body lying face down at the base of an ancient water tower. The police were promptly summoned, revealing a chilling scene. The man had been brutally shot twice, once in the back, the bullet piercing his heart, and then again in the head after he had fallen to the ground. Beside the body lay a bag and a head cap, but no identification could be found. The victim was later identified as Josef Ben Medor, a third.
So wait, let's recap. You're telling me, I don't know, but I think this was a famous band, and the lead singers of the band were the ones who did this. Don't tell me if it's a spoiler, but I that's what I gathered so far. That is so obscure.
36-year-old Algerian national who had been residing in Sweden for a decade. Josef was openly gay, and his frequent companion was a Finnish-looking man, presumed to be his boyfriend. Initially, suspicion fell upon the boyfriend due to their known tumultuous relationship, his lack of alibi, and his head cap being found at the crime scene. But despite the initial focus on Josef's boyfriend,
dude, that's
after
crazy.
12 days in custody, he was released and clear of all charges. But this left a gaping void for the investigators.
See, that's why we can't have any, like, we can't, what's the word here? We can't have any idols. I think that's the exact word. Because sometimes people worship these type of singers and bands, and they don't even know how obscure people can be. It doesn't matter if they're talented. You got to be careful who you listen to, because the things they feed you might, influence you.
It wasn't the boyfriend, then who had committed this horrific act? Assassination? In the turbulent backdrop of Algeria's civil war, a sinister...
My wife just walked by and she's like, "What are you watching?" Okay.
Web of violence and political unrest gripped the nation from 1991 to 2002. Amidst this chaos, an extremist organization known as the Armed Islamic Group of Algeria, or GIA, emerged with a brutal agenda: to establish an Islamic state by toppling the existing government. In the midst of this civil strife, Josef's lifeless body was discovered in Kielers Park, and it soon transpired that the GIA, notorious for their ruthless tactics, had paid Josef a visit just days before his body was found. Suspecting a political assassination due to Josef's vocal opposition to the GIA, investigators initially pursued this lead. However, this path of inquiry proved equally elusive. Despite their efforts, the investigators failed to unearth substantial evidence linking Josef's murder to the GIA's political motives. Frustration mounted as their new theory crumbled under the weight of uncertainty. Months passed, and soon hope began to wane. The victim. Born into a loving family, Joseph Ben Medor was raised by his parents in the heart of the Kasbah of Algiers. Kind-hearted and intelligent, Joseph was known for his generosity and willingness to extend a helping hand beyond the ordinary. Despite not completing his formal education, he possessed a keen mind and was multilingual, fluent in both English and Swedish. His days were spent as a tailor, meticulously crafting garments for others. Anecdotes from his family painted a picture of his remarkable generosity. Once asked for a blender, he returned not with one but with 6, exemplifying his extraordinary spirit. Life's twists led Joseph away from Algeria. When a friend invited
Yeah, twists. There are a lot of twists in this story, a lot of layers. So I didn't know they were going to involve the Algerian group there, which is, what is going on?
him on the journey to France and the Nordic countries. Embracing this opportunity, he eventually found his home in Sweden, where he settled and built a life for himself. As we reflect on his life, let us remember Joseph not just for the way his journey ended, but for the way he lived, full of compassion, generosity, and the enduring impact he made on those fortunate enough to know him. May his soul find eternal peace. A major twist. In the chilling winter of December 15th, 1997, a 23-year-old woman stepped into a police station in Stockholm, her face etched with fear and desperation. Her purpose was twofold: to seek refuge from her abusive boyfriend Vlad, and to disclose a haunting revelation. Trembling, she recounted a macabre tale Vlad had confided in her, implicating him and his 20-year-old friend John as the culprits behind the Keelers Park murder that had sent shockwaves through Gothenburg. According to her harrowing account, Vlad and John had lured their victim Joseph into their sinister trap during a chance encounter on the streets of Gothenburg. Together, they led Joseph to the eerie solitude of Keelers Park. There they attempted to immobilize him with an electroshock weapon, but their plan went awry. In a desperate bid for escape, Joseph sprinted away, only to be ruthlessly shot in the back by Vlad. As Joseph lay
First of all, I thought Scandinavian countries had a gun ban. Like, how did he get a hold of a gun?
defenseless on the cold ground, Vlad passed the weapon to John, who callously fired a second fatal shot into Joseph's head. The woman, stricken with terror, also divulged that she knew the whereabouts of the murder weapon, a 9mm pistol, a crucial detail that shocked the investigators. Stockholm police swiftly reached out to their counterparts in Gothenburg, verifying that certain elements of her account aligned eerily with the crime scene, raising the chilling possibility that her gruesome narrative held the key to solving the Keelers Park murder mystery. The darkness of that winter night was juxtaposed against the glimmer of a potential breakthrough, as detectives meticulously pursued the leads provided by the courageous informant, determined to bring justice to Joseph and closure to a grieving community, an altar of death. In a dramatic turn of events, the wheels of justice began to grind relentlessly in two cities, Stockholm and Gothenburg, as law enforcement closed in on the suspects linked to the Keelers Park murder. First, the spotlight fell on Vlad, who was swiftly apprehended at his Stockholm residence. The arrest, made on the very day of the shocking revelations, was marked by the chilling discovery of a 9mm pistol, just as the woman had claimed, which was seized from his possession.
How did he get a hold of it?
As investigators delved deeper into Vlad's abode, they unearthed a macabre tableau. Among the eerie artifacts found were a satanic altar, fragments of human hair, bone pieces, a bottle filled with human blood, and a weathered skull believed to be the result of grave robbery. To add to the horror, a collection of films depicting human abductions sent shivers down the spines of the seasoned detectives. The evidence appeared damning, strengthening the case against Vlad. Simultaneously, the net tightened around Jan Nottveit, the second suspect in this gruesome saga. Swift police action led to John's arrest at his Gothenburg apartment a few days later. The arrest of both Vlad and John marked a pivotal moment in the pursuit of justice, setting the stage for a legal battle that would unravel the dark secrets surrounding the Keelers Park murder. Amid the fervor of these arrests, another unresolved tragedy lingered in the background. The unsolved case.
Did you just say you can 3D print a firearm? What? It's not hard to get? What?
Of Malin Olsen, a 16-year-old girl found strangled in a cemetery in 1994, who police also believed Vlad and John to be responsible for. However, they were never able to definitively link the pair to the crime, leaving a mystery that remains hauntingly open to this day. The Temple of the Black Light. In the chilling depths of Stockholm's winter, a sinister alliance was unmasked, revealing a shocking connection between darkness, ritualistic beliefs, and the heinous crime that rocked Gothenburg. The arrest of Vlad and his accomplice, John Nottveit, shed light on the secretive world of the misanthropic Luciferian order, an occult
What?
organization founded in Sweden in 1995, also
What?
known as the Temple of the Black Light. Vlad and
These things should be illegal, guys. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Organization founded. What? That should be illegal. You were offered a what? Don't dox yourself.
John were active members of the MLO, a group that delved into chaos Gnostic beliefs, seeking the true light of Lucifer through dark Gnostic and satanic magical systems. Their sinister
What?
practices
Why do
included
people pursue
meditation,
this?
invocations of demons, and grisly animal sacrifices, particularly cats procured through classified ads. In the weeks leading up to the murder, the MLO, including
Cats
Vlad
through
and John,
ads?
gathered at Notvite's residence to compile a chilling list of potential victims for their ominous human sacrifices. Among the targets were a defected MLO member, various bandmates of the duo, and even Notvite's own girlfriend. These malevolent plans prompted other MLO members to defect, refusing to partake in such sinister deeds, dwindling the active membership to a mere 3 individuals: John, Vlad, and Vlad's girlfriend. The motive behind this ghastly crime, deeply intertwined with the MLO's chaotic beliefs, remained shrouded in mystery. As detectives delved into the twisted minds of the perpetrators, the lingering question echoed through the corridors of justice. Was the murder of Joseph Ben Meduer a human sacrifice, driven by the dark tenets of Satanism, or a manifestation of an even more sinister and elusive force? The investigation, guided by relentless determination, pressed forward, unraveling the intricate web of malevolence woven by the MLO,
Now you can.
and inching closer to the chilling truth behind this nightmarish crime. Dissection. John Notvite was the head of a black metal band called Dissection, a pioneering force that blended black metal with melodic death metal. Dissection's unique musical style earned them recognition as one of the most important and influential extreme metal bands. To understand the motives behind this unsettling murder case, it's important.
See, that's why black metal gets a lot of backlash. Like a lot of people associate black metal with this. And I hope that's not the case. I hope not everyone does that. I really don't like that. A perk of living next to, oh wow, Trond he's going in on it here. People sold things like night vision goggles. What? That's interesting, actually.
Important that we touch on some history surrounding the black metal scene at the time, where a series of violent incidents marked the turbulent path of this subgenre of heavy metal. In the early 1990s, the black metal landscape was marred by tragedies, including the shocking suicide of Per Olin, the lead singer of the Norwegian band Mayhem in 1991.
We reacted
Olin's
to
bandmate,
Mayhem.
Oystein Arseth not only discovered his body, but callously took photographs and collected fragments of his skull, later
Yeah, we reacted to a full true crime story of Mayhem. Go watch that reaction too. And it's as obscure as this one.
displaying them at the Helvete record shop in Oslo. Tragedy struck again when Bard Faust Eithun, an associate of Arseth, stabbed a homosexual man in 1992, driven by homophobic motives. In 1993, Arseth himself fell victim to violence, stabbed to death by Varg Vikernes, a Norwegian musician known for his solo project Burzum. Vikernes, also facing accusations of church burnings, claimed self-defense,
That's the craziest
stating that
thing.
Arseth had planned to murder him. Vikernes was sentenced to 21 years in prison in 1994, marking a grim chapter in black metal's history.
Is he
the tale
out
of
this
John
year?
Notvite and Vlad thus became another grim chapter in the annals of black metal, echoing the turbulent and enigmatic nature of this subgenre. The killer's accounts. In the early hours of July 22, 1997, Gothenburg's night was disrupted by a sinister incident that unfolded in the city center. Jan Notvite, along with his companion Vlad and 2 friends, found themselves in a chance encounter with a stranger, Joseph Ben Meduer.
I don't know. Every time he says Gothenburg, I kind of it reminds me of Batman. Every time he mentions that, I'm like, Batman. Something they're missing is that the victim was drinking very much and was known to go up to strangers. And hit on them. Interesting. Okay. No, but that still doesn't justify, right? Still doesn't justify.
Encounter occurred near a park known as a gathering spot for gay men, where Joseph approached John and Vlad, expressing his curiosity about Satanism. Initially trying to avoid Joseph's persistent inquiries, John and Vlad eventually invited him to John's home. However, upon observing...
Wait, did the video just pause or no? I feel like the video paused here. How long has it been paused for? What happened here? For some reason, the video paused. Let me try that again.
Joseph's behavior.
What? Okay, sorry guys. Something happened here where the video just disappeared now. Let me try to open that again. For some reason, they don't want us to watch this. There we go. Crazy.
Behavior and realizing he was homosexual, John and Vlad became offended and angry. When they reached John's residence, Joseph hesitated and refused to enter. Instead, John and Vlad proposed continuing their discussion about Satanism at Keeler's Park. Before departing, John retrieved a stun gun and a 9mm handgun from his home. Arriving at Keeler's Park, Vlad took the stun gun from John and used it on Joseph in an attempt to immobilize him. Despite his efforts to escape, Joseph's fate was sealed. Vlad seized the 9mm handgun from John and shot Joseph in the back, followed by a fatal shot to the head. Initially denying their involvement, both John and Vlad eventually confessed to their roles in the murder, providing similar accounts of the events. However, there was a significant discrepancy between their confessions. While John claimed Vlad had shot Joseph, Vlad insisted that John was the one who pulled the trigger, revealing the chilling details of a night that would haunt Gothenburg's memory. They
blamed each other.
During the trial that followed the harrowing events of the Keeler's Park murder in July 1997, the motives behind the crime remained shrouded in darkness. The prosecution grappled with unraveling whether the act was a satanic ritual, a manifestation of the misanthropic Luciferian order's sinister discussions about human sacrifices, or a hate crime fueled by the visceral anger John Notveit and Vlad experienced when confronted with Josef Ben Medor's sexual identity. Criminal Inspector Lars Olin, the driving force behind the police investigation, shed light on the complex motivations. Notveit, during interrogation, had initially claimed the murder was a sacrifice to Satan, but later withdrew this statement. Olin asserted that while Satanism undoubtedly cast a sinister shadow over the crime, homophobia also played a pivotal role. The Swedish police, acknowledging the hate-filled undercurrent, registered the Keeler's Park murder as a homophobic hate crime. In the ensuing legal proceedings, the Gothenburg District Court rendered its verdict on July 6, 1998. Notveit was found guilty of accessory to murder and illegal possession of a firearm, earning an 8-year prison sentence. Meanwhile, Vlad faced a graver conviction, found guilty of murder, violence against his girlfriend, illegal firearm possession, and possession of body parts, resulting in a 10-year prison term for him. Both parties challenged the court's decision.
And how big was this band? Like, how big were they, like, in terms of music?
Leading to an appeal. The Court of Appeal for Western Sweden deliberated and delivered its judgment on September 25, 1998. Vlad's sentence of 10 years was upheld. However, Notveit's sentence was increased to 10 years as well, solidifying the grim fate that awaited them behind bars. The trial, marked by its focus on the intertwining forces of Satanism, black metal, and homophobia, swiftly moved forward, driven by the chilling confessions of Vlad and John, each acknowledging their roles in the tragic demise of Josef Ben Medor.
They were huge.
What happened next? After serving 7 years in prison, both Vlad and John were released in 2004. After his release from prison, John reformed his band Dissection, recruiting new members he felt could stand behind and live up to the demands of Dissection's satanic concept. They released a new album, but in 2006, Jan Notveit took his own life. He was found in his home, surrounded by a circle of lit candles, with a ritual book by his side. He left behind letters for his father and girlfriend, leaving a haunting legacy of violence and despair. Vlad, the other convicted murderer, seemingly moved forward with his life. There are unverified reports suggesting that he married his girlfriend. Under the alias Falcifer, it has also been claimed that Vlad may have authored several books, forming the Liber Falcifer series. But despite the passage of time, the details of his life after prison remain shrouded in mystery and ambiguity. Meanwhile, Josef Ben Medor's remains were repatriated to Algeria, his home country.
Dude,
he was laid to rest in the capital city of Algiers, marking the end of a life tragically cut short. Criminal Inspector Lars Olin, the dedicated investigator who led the police efforts, shared insights into the case through an article published in the book titled Nordisk Criminal Chronica 1999, He shed light on the perplexing details of the crime, including unexplained burns that were found on Joseph's back, adding an eerie layer of mystery to the tragic events.
Burns
The story
too?
of the Keeler's Park murder remains a chilling reminder of the darkness that can consume human hearts, leaving behind a legacy of pain, confusion, and unanswered questions. Conclusion. In the annals of criminal history, the Keeler's Park murder case stands as a chilling testament to the depths of human darkness. The heinous acts committed by John Nodvite and Vlad shook not only the quiet streets of Gothenburg, but also the very fabric of
This is
society, leaving
so
an
dark.
indelible mark on the collective consciousness. This harrowing tale serves as a stark reminder of the complexities of human nature, where the interplay of sinister
Dude, he looks like a
motives, occult
skinhead.
beliefs, and deeply ingrained prejudices culminated in a tragedy that claimed the life of an innocent man, Joseph Ben Medour. Beyond the gruesome details of the crime, the case raises profound questions about the human capacity for malevolence and the blurred lines between reality and the occult. In reflecting on the Keeler's Park murder, society is compelled to confront the enduring specter of prejudice and hatred that lingers in the shadows. It is a call to action, urging us to foster understanding, tolerance, and compassion in the face of ignorance and bigotry. By illuminating the darkest corners of our society, we can strive to create a world where such heinous crimes find no fertile ground, and where empathy and acceptance prevail. May the memory of Joseph Ben Medour serve as a poignant reminder of the human cost of intolerance, prompting us to work tirelessly toward a future where every life is valued, and where the shadows of prejudice are dispelled by the light of empathy and unity. Thanks again for watching this latest true crime deep dive.
100%.
This is a case I personally had never heard of before, and found it fascinating to explore. Obviously, metal music was a central focus during the Satanic Panic era, and as a metal fan myself, I actually find it quite disheartening to discover incidents like this that almost seem to prove the fear-mongering to be valid. So let's all keep in mind that individuals and incidents like those mentioned in this
Thank
case
you for the coffee
no more
request.
represent metal music than any
Thank
other
you
horrific
to
acts represent the
Shadow
religions,
Pulse.
races, or cultural identities of those any criminal claims to be a part of. Let me know your thoughts about this case down in the comments. You have been
Okay.
watching The Mystery Abyss.
Thank you for watching The Mystery Abyss. That is some chilling stories. Or that is a chilling story right there. But people were absolutely not in their right mind when this happened. And, you know, it is such a shame what happened to Joseph because nobody, even if he was making a pass or hitting on those guys, nobody deserves what happened to him. Even if he was in the wrong place, wrong time, or even if he provoked a reaction, it doesn't justify. And even if he was drunk and you know, kind of like got involved with the wrong people, it doesn't justify what happened to him. And you know, it takes a very insecure person to get offended by a compliment from, you know, the same sex. It just feels weird. It just feels like people but they weren't in their right mind. It is creepy. And humans are already susceptible to evil, to darkness. So we need to literally fight that and you know, not listen to the intrusive thoughts, you know. It's absolutely insane. It's absolutely heartbreaking. And as I said, guys, be careful what you listen to, be careful what you consume, because it can change your mood, it can change your thoughts, it can lead you to just insanity, depending on what you consume and what you feed yourself with. And I feel like these guys, they were consuming really dark stuff. They were really into the dark occult stuff, and that shaped their thoughts. So when they got this opportunity, they just went ahead and, you know what, you're a sacrifice now, and just gave way into their intrusive thoughts, the voices in their head. They just went and did whatever they thought without thinking of the consequences. And they would have gotten away with it if conscience didn't fall into place. Because I'm sure he told his girlfriend because he had a heavy conscience. And it shows that it doesn't matter how deep a person is in the hole and how dark they are and how evil they are, they still have a conscience. Otherwise, he wouldn't have shared that information with anyone else, unless he was trying to brag or something. That's crazy. Bertel says, I can listen to whatever dark music I want, but I will never approve of such actions. You have to separate the art from the artist. I mean, you do have to separate the art from the artist, but at the same time, if you're consuming something that is preaching something, it is a risk, because we are what we consume at the end of the day. But I do understand how you can separate the art from the artist, but at the same time, it feels strange to support the artist if you know that they are doing some crazy stuff. And I think that's why people kind of like cancel artists, like, let's say P Diddy and um uh, what's the name, Sean Combs, and wait, that's the same person, R. Kelly. That's what I was thinking of. Cosby's, stuff that happens like that, which is crazy. But I do understand in that scenario, because like Kanye West has good music, but he has really weird thoughts, and it is something that you can literally kind of separate the song from the artist. But once they start preaching something in their music, then there's no way to separate, because when their message goes into their music, it is them, it is their music, it is their message. So if it's in the case of like Kanye singing about something else, that's fine. But if it's Kanye singing about his agenda, then you're still consuming it, and it still does mess with your mind. And I don't know, I haven't listened to any black metal to be able to talk about it, because I don't know what the lyrics talk about. I don't know what you will proclaim when you're singing it either. So yeah, I in my case, I just think that we shouldn't support anything that has the occult or darkness, or I think we should bring light to the world and just positivity, because otherwise we're just contributing to evil. And I wouldn't support that either. So it's crazy. It's crazy to think that people are there. There are people that idolize Teddy Bundy. I've heard that name. He's a SK, right? And to be fair, he's an icon. Now, who's Ted Bundy? Can't remember. The brighter it gets, the darker the shadows cast. That's interesting. But it only casts a shadow if there's someone in the way, right? Or if there's something in the way. So get rid of those barriers, I guess. I don't know, guys. This is such a eerie video. And it's really, that's why it says it's shocking cases of true crime. But I'm just saying, you do what you guys want, obviously. But at the end of the day, just be careful with what messages are getting through to you. You know what I'm saying? Because some people, they will do their best to sell you an agenda, and we just gotta keep our eyes open. If it's just for entertainment, then fine, but be careful with the message, and kind of like try to see if you're getting influenced by a few things. Just keep an eye out. That's all I'm saying. But I'm not trying to lecture any of you guys. That's not the point. I'm just saying they were consuming a lot of dark stuff, and they did the dark stuff they were consuming. I'm not talking about the audience or the fans. I'm talking about them. What they did, they consumed, they created a group, and they let the evil take over. That's all I'm saying. I'm not talking about like if you listen to a song, you're going to be brainwashed. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying they were studying these things. They were deep diving into it, and they ended up doing something crazy, which it was inevitable, because they were so deep into that they thought it was normal, I guess. Well, with that said, guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this reaction. As I said, it's not a lecture to those who watch or listen to black metal. It's more of trying to understand how they got to this point. And I think it's because they were consuming too much of the darkness, and they let it take over. With that said, click over here, or go over to Buy Me Coffee to request a video like Bertil did. Thank you for the support. Go watch me on Twitch as well. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.